And as long as the healer group is still there, those guys lying on the ground will still be revived. Unfortunately, it's comparable to the deep dungeon floors. It's even more dangerous. That's why the Freya Familia is difficult to deal with, she couldn't help but whisper bitterly. At the same time, the superior blacksmith's magic sword also provided support, which made it fight until now, but Hadine's bombardment had now wiped out most of it. Now that the field of view is blocked by sand and dust, no matter how you say it, they won't be continuously cast, but if they actually pull off that trick again, their morale will definitely plummet. Tsubaki might not be able to hold it either. As such, we can only cut out all the Cinderellas before the dust settles, even if they die together. Just when Tsubaki was about to decide which side to choose, a voice boomed. It wasn't the scream of the person who was cut, but the scary, cutting sound. Tsubaki heard correctly. The sound of a flashing gun that only a fierce user could make. Hogni. She turned sharply west. In the depths of the thinning sand, a dark elf was standing. Ha, Hogni Ragnar. Level 1 Adventurer. Here we go. Tsubaki's scream became the trigger, and the adventurer's screams echoed in the staggering sky. Lavender silver hair and olive skin that revealed his identity as a dark elf. The black sword he carried was stained with blood, and his sharp pupils were constricting, as if he was looking for prey right now. A sneer appeared on his face, it looked like he still craved a blood feast after all. Confrontation with first-level adventurers. The common perception that any adventurer would feel hopeless. And it is extremely panic. Hogni's dangerous, wavering eyes didn't want to meet the other's eyes, and the sneer that emerged was just a twitch of his cheeks and the corners of his mouth hanging up. The waste elf's heart, which was extremely obsessed with life and had almost zero ability to communicate with people, turned into a monster with suspicious behavior. No, you should cheer up. I'm Freya-sama's family, and I'm also a very powerful first-tier adventurer in Orario. Laughing at me is equivalent to insulting family and Lady Freya. He forcibly lifted his lips and, by the way, lifted his entire contracted face. Hogni showed an extremely nervous and evil smile. The abyss that finds me here is the fate of the end. The ancient withered skeleton is silent, and the crimson color sings loudly. My sword longs for a living sacrifice. Go, die. Hogni was terrified by the countless eyes surrounding him, and at the same time said the above words, if paraphrased, would be, I am in charge of this army, so I will drive you out. I killed, the skirmish is over. Get ready to die. The reaction of faction and coalition forces can be called a tragedy. What's going on with this guy? Suddenly speaking, I was scared, but it turned out to be a terrible guy. Hey, I can't understand what this guy is like. What a ghostly laugh. Apologize. Apologize to the elf now. Oh no, I really want to die. A glowing liquid emerged from the corners of the dark elf's eyes. I really want to be the embodiment of darkness. I can't, it's so uncomfortable, I really want to huddle in the forest, I can't take it anymore. I really want to enjoy Lady Freya's lap pillow. No, it's true, I want to give Lady Freya a lap pillow. Hogni worked hard. Resisting the pressure of the vision as well as the illusion of being pursued, he worked hard. However, when he thought of this super cold stupidity being broadcast to all of Orario by the mirror, his mental balance was shattered and he ushered in a tragic ending. His spirit was burned by extreme shame and he decided to practice humiliating escape. Not possible anymore. We will definitely use it. That is, use magic. Take the sword from its scabbard, the black magic sword. As a knight, or to hide his face, he holds a sword in both hands, with the tip of the sword pointing towards the sky. At the same time, a circle of dark magic blossomed under his feet. "Stop him from singing." Seeing this scene, Tsubaki screamed desperately. The funny repertoire only stunned her for a moment, and the moment she heard this incantation, the biggest alarm rang in her mind. Clearly knowing the origin of Hogni's pseudonym, she eagerly pulled out the dagger-shaped, magic sword attached to her waist. Rationality is the compensation, blood is the sacrifice. The feast is endless, the killing is endless, is played by singing the short text. It's too late to cut it now. Seeing Tsubaki's actions after such a judgment, the expressions of other adventurers and blacksmiths also changed drastically, imitating her. Several magic swords, countless arrows and shurikens shot towards Hogni, who had his eyes closed. The magic name of Dainslev and the sound of explosion sounded at the same time. As soon as the unfolded magic circle emitted light, it was engulfed by the bombardment storm. The storm also hid the dark elf's figure, and then a flower of light exploded. Seeing the firepower that even first-year adventurers couldn't be sure of, Tsubaki and the others covered their faces with their arms and watched nervously. Then they saw the explosion of smoke rising. Then it was enough to make Tsubaki's ears tingle, and the heroic sound of devastation excluded all holding hands and mercy. In front of the mute Tsubaki's field of vision, there was foam of blood flying from the corner of the troops. Those who fell were 3 senior adventurers. Standing beside him was a dark elf, enmeshed in the smoke from the explosion he ruptured, like armor. The traitors who violated the will of the goddess. I have come to hear your confession. The price is your fresh blood. The tone was completely different from before. The cruel eyes that were weak are now gone. Tsubaki noticed something activated that magic that he shouldn't be activated. Dainslev. That personality-altering magic possessed by Hogni. This is the key to turning the dark elf who is afraid of other people's faces into a warrior. This is no ordinary attack spell, and it's different from bestow spell. Dainslev, that affects the caster's heart, is considered a rare spell. The effect is to make the character, words and actions really become someone else. At the sacrifice of the goddess, when Bel was attacked by Hogni, he wondered if he was the same person before and after, and all because of this magic. But at the same time, it has no effect of increasing the skill value. Just acting on his personality, he is considered inconspicuous in the beautiful magic. However, this magic that works exclusively in the mind is the self-transformation that goes beyond autosuggestion. In other words, the phenomenon it provokes is equivalent to an ideal manifestation. That's because he despises himself too much, summoning his strongest version. I'm tired of seeing trembling faces. Mercy to you. Pick up your swords. At least let you end up as a swordsman. Sweat trickled down Tsubaki's cheeks. During Orario's dark period, Hogni once used magic to slay over 1,000 evil apostles on just one battlefield. Tsubaki understands the power of this magic very well. The glow from the broken magic circle was inhaled into the eyes, and it now took on a small lavender color, glowing with a strange glow. Hogni narrowed his eyes and declared, "Go to hell, rabble. Love pests are not qualified to live." In an instant, the dark elf's body sank slightly. Then there is the haste that is confused with teleportation. Just when he thought a black shadow was passing by, the entire team was cut down. The cursed sword in his hand expanded at a slashing range, and it only took a flash to slash all the adventurers. The round dance of despair and slashing was enacted. There was no hesitation, no forgiveness. Stopping him from doing his better was impossible. If completely removed by magic, it will be evaluated as elf countryman, the slashing incarnation of the disgraced elf strongest in close combat. Just like the magic sword that would never return to its scabbard without bringing many deaths when it was pulled, a violent bloodstorm erupted. Adventurers are divided by it. The blacksmiths and their magic sword were also destroyed. This bar does not distinguish between high and low. There is no distinction between men and women, races or young and old, but they are treated equally as gods and, as tyrants, issue the final edict.